Alright, it's time for another On Deck Baseball gameplay video. Today we're going to be featuring our next round of the King of the Hill tournament, featuring the newest version of the game, On Deck Baseball Pro. In the first round, the 1985 St. Louis Ball Club defeated the 1970 Baltimore Ball Club by a score of 3-2. Willie McGee got what would turn out to be the winning run, the winning RBI, when he singled, and Vince Coleman came around to score after he was on second base with a one-out double. Today we have a very interesting matchup. It's going to be a very fun matchup, I think, between the 1985 St. Louis Ball Club and the 1934 Pittsburgh Crawfords from the Negro National League. The Crawfords feature a ton of legends from the Negro Leagues. On the mound, we're going to be having Satchel Paige as he takes on Joaquin Andujar of the 1985 St. Louis Club. And in the lineup for the Pittsburgh Crawfords, we have Cool Papa Bell, Bill Perkins, Oscar Charleston batting third, Josh Gibson batting fourth. We got Vic Harris fifth, Judy Johnson's playing third base, Chester Williams, Leroy Morney, and Jimmy Crutchfield. So a lot of Negro League legends in this ball club, a lot of players to experience that a lot of people haven't in the past. And they will be the next opposing team for 1985 St. Louis, and that is a big mountain to climb for the St. Louis Ball Club, and we're going to see if they can move on to the third round. One of the things I did mention in the last video is that the team that moves on, they will be carrying their fatigue points into the following game, while the new team will come in completely rested and their bullpen completely rested. So that means that John Tudor, who started the last game, he needs 5 days of rest. And Todd Worrell, who closed it out for the save, he has 1 day of rest. That does not mean that he can't come in. He can come into the game. He will just come in not 100% rested, which will decrease his overall pitching ability and give the batters a little bit of an advantage, although he has a very good card, so it wouldn't be that much of an advantage. So let's go ahead and get this one started. We're going to switch our pitchers up here. Like I said, Joaquin Andujar will be taking a mound for St. Louis, while Satchel Paige will be taking a mound for Pittsburgh. As always, I do like to have our little grid here, a little cheat that we developed, a friend of mine in our local league, and that is the pitching ability, so we can keep this pitcher's card on its backside. Makes it a little bit easier. We're going to have Vince Coleman leading off, Willie McGee batting second, Tommy Herr, Jack Clark in cleanup, Cesar Cedeno fifth, Andy Van Slyke sixth, Pendleton in seventh, Darrell Porter doing the catching duties, batting eighth, and Ozzie Smith rounding out the lineup, batting ninth, the Wizard at shortstop as always. So we're going to go ahead and get this game going. Let's play ball, roll some dice, and see what the outcome is. Vince Coleman leading off. Coleman is a switch hitter. He will be batting lefty versus the right-handed pitcher Satchel Paige, and he will be a -1 on the roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 1-1 is a strikeout. So Satchel Paige getting started right away, the right way with the K. Willie McGee coming up. He is a switch hitter as well. It's going to be +1 for McGee. That's going to move up to a batter's card. 8-7, McGee continuing to hit. He has a single. It's a single plus, so we're going to see where that goes. It could possibly turn into a double. That is going to go to right field. The right fielder for the Pittsburgh team is Vic Harris. He has a forearm. It's only a 30% chance of McGee stretching that into a double, so I think we're going to take a single and maybe try and move him into scoring position with a stolen base. So that's going to go the jump off of the hold runners. Satchel Paige is only a -2 hold runners. Willie McGee is a 5. It's going to be a +3 on a roll. That is going to be a good jump. He's going to attempt to steal off of Josh Gibson's arm. Gibson does have a solid cannon back there with a 4, and it's going to be a 60% chance McGee makes it. It's a 4. He does not. Josh Gibson rifles it down to second base, catching McGee trying to steal. So we are now 2 away with Tommy Herr coming up. Switch hitter as well. He'll be batting lefty. It's going to be equal on the roll. That is going to be a batter's card for Tommy Herr. 10-2 is a flyout, and now we'll do it for the top of the first. That flyout goes over to Vic Harris in right. That is going to bring up Cool Papa Bell leading off for Pittsburgh. And all these numbers come off of Baseball Reference, so I did a lot of research with multiple sites to figure out their strengths and weaknesses. So hoping that these cards give you a nice overall display of how these players were, although it's a lot of, wide areas of knowledge that are missing for these ball players, but we do the best we can, right? So Cool Papa Bell is a switch hitter. He'll be batting lefty against Joaquin Andahar. It is going to be a +1 on the roll. That's going to be a batter's card for Cool Papa Bell. 10-4, he gets it going with a walk, so a leadoff walk. And there is a man on. Let's see, is he going to try to steal? I think he might. He's got a jump of a 5 also. We're going to do +3 on the jump roll. He does not get the jump against Andahar, and he will stay at first base. That's going to bring up Bill Perkins with 1 on and nobody out. Righty versus righty matchup is going to be a -2 towards a pitcher, and that is going to be a batter's card for Perkins. 8-6 is a walk. So we have consecutive walks here as Cool Papa Bell slides over to second base, advancing on the walk. You gotta love that nickname, Cool Papa Bell. Oscar Charleston now coming up, another legend out of the Negro Leagues. Nobody out, 2 men on. He is a left-handed batter. It's going to be +2 on the roll. That's going to be a batter's card for Charleston. 9-2 is a flyout, though, so he's not going to get anything going. It's going to be a flyout to center. And that is going to bring up Josh Gibson, known as the Black Babe Ruth, known for having the most home runs throughout the Negro Leagues. There was a lot of barnstorming, so records aren't particularly accurate. But what is accurate is that he had immense power. We're going to go ahead and roll this one out as equal on the confrontation roll. That is going to be a pitcher's card, so Andahar taking advantage here and striking out Josh Gibson with a roll of 3-1, and that is going to bring up Vic Harris. Vic Harris taking right field duties in today's game. He is a left-handed batter. It's going to be +2. That's going to be a batter's card for Vic Harris. 10-8 is a base hit with 2 away. That's going to score Cool Papa Bell. Perkins is on third as he was running on contact. We're going to see where this goes. That goes to the center fielder. The center fielder's arm, Willie McGee, is a 3. Are we going to try and send Perkins? Is he going to get the wave around from the third base coach? It will be a 60-40 shot. I think the third base coach is going to wave him home, and we are going to go for it. And I think McGee is raring up and ready to throw. So with his 3 arm, that's a 60% chance of Perkins making it. We roll the die. It is a 5. McGee guns him at home for the last out, and that is going to end the inning. That is a huge play, as that inning could have continued, as Harris would have advanced to second on the throw, but it doesn't happen as McGee guns him down. So now we're going to go back over to the top of the second. Jack the Ripper leading off the inning. Jack Clark did hit a home run in the first game against the Baltimore Ball Club. Let's see where it goes here. It's going to be -2 on the roll. That is going to be a batter's card. 2-1 is a strikeout, though, so nothing happening here. For Jack Clark, Cesar Cedeno coming up. A right-handed batter. It's going to be -1 on the roll. That is going to be a batter's card. That is a huge batter's card there for Cedeno. A 10-4 is a walk. So 1 on, 1 out. Andy Van Slyke coming up for 1985 St. Louis. Left-handed batter is going to be -1 is a batter's card. 10-1 is a ground out. We have a chance at a double play here. The ground out goes to the second baseman. Williams at second base is a 3 fielder. Cedeno needs a 7 or 8 to reach. He does not. He is out on the turn. That is a 4-6. And the shortstop, Morney, is a 2, trying to get Slyke on the turn over to over to first. Only a 30% chance of getting him out here, though. And he does not. So a fielder's choice for Andy Van Slyke as he reaches first base on the 4-6. And the failed double play. That's going to bring up Terry Pendleton, a switch hitter. It's going to be -2 on the roll. It's going to be a pitcher's card. 2-1 is a strikeout, and that will do it for 85 St. Louis. as they go down in the top of the second. That is now going to bring up Judy Johnson, the third baseman for 1934 Pittsburgh. Johnson is a right-handed batter. It's going to be -1. That's going to be a pitcher's card for Andahar. 7-4 is a ground out, and that ground out goes to first base. Williams now up, right-handed batter. It's going to be -1, pitcher's card. 5-1 is a line out, and the line out goes to shortstop. Morney now up, Leroy Morney, shortstop. Switch hitter, it's going to be -1 on a roll. That is going to be a pitcher's card. 10-1 is a ground out, and that will do it. As the ground out goes to the first baseman, we'll call that a 3-1, and that is going to do it in the bottom of the second. And we'll head back over to the top of the third as Darryl Porter will be leading off for 1985 St. Louis. It's going to be lefty versus righty, and it's going to be a -2. That's going to go down to a pitcher's card for Satchel Paige. 6-1 is a strikeout, so Paige cutting him down. That is his 4th K through only 2 1/3 innings, as the Wizard will be coming up to the plate. He is a switch hitter. It's a -1. It's going to bring it down to a pitcher's card. 9-9 on a pitcher's card is a double, so the Wizard laces one down the line, races over to second base, and finds himself standing on second with 1 out, and the top of the order coming up. Vince Coleman now up, switch hitter. It's going to be -1 on the roll. That's going to be a batter's card for Coleman. 8-2 is a flyout, and the flyout goes to center. So 2 away with a man on second, and Willie McGee coming up. See if he could tie the ball game up for St. Louis. It's going to be a +1. That is a batter's card on McGee. 8-1 is a line out to second base, and that'll do it for 1985 St. Louis. We're going to go to the bottom of the third now. Jimmy Crutchfield, who is DHing for this 1934 Pittsburgh team. Lefty versus righty here. It's going to be +1 on the roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 9-3 is a ground out to the first base as it goes 3-1. That's going to bring back up the top of the order and Cool Papa Bell. Bell got the walk and scored a run in the first inning. It's going to be +1 on the roll. That's going to be a batter's card for Bell. 10-3 is another walk, so he reaches for the second time on a walk. And you know what? We're going to see if we can steal. I know it's a jump of a 5 and a hold of a -2, so it's +3 on the roll. He does get the jump this time. Darryl Porter, doing the catching duties for 1985 St. Louis, has a 3-arm. 3-arm on Cool Papa Bell says that he has a 70% chance of stealing. He rolls an 8, and he steals a base. And now we have a man in scoring position with 1 away, and Bill Perkins coming up. That is going to be a -2 on the roll. That's a batter's card for Perkins. 10-8 is a double. Bell is going to come around to score his second run of the game, and Pittsburgh takes a 2-0 lead as Perkins gets an RBI double with 1 away. That's going to bring up Oscar Charleston, still a man in scoring position. It's going to be +2 on the roll. That is a batter's card for Charleston. 8-7 is another base hit. It's going to be a fall in for a single. Perkins goes over to third. We're going to see where that goes. It goes to center. McGee has that 3-arm out there, and we are going to try and score. Third base coach waving Perkins home. It is a 60% chance he's going to try and make up for getting gunned down in the bottom of the first. We're going to roll 1 die, a 6, and he gets gunned down again. Maybe this guy should just stay at third. So that's going to be an RBI single. Charleston is going to advance to second on the throw, and there is now 2 away. And the big man himself, Josh Gibson, coming up. It's going to be equal roll. That's going to be a batter's card on Gibson. 10-4 is a situation. We're going to go ahead and get our situation charts here. These situation charts have been all revised since the first version of the game. Here's our matrix. We're going to go ahead and roll 2 dice. A 5-3 is going to be a situation on the batter. So we'll just find the batter card here. We are going to roll 1 die to determine what the situation is. It's a 5. Batter is hit by pitch in the head. Wow, that's kind of ironic because I believe he did pass away from an injury like that. Batter isn't able to shake it off the impact and is removed from the game. Player later shows symptoms of a concussion with tests coming back positive and will miss the next 3 games. So he's going to be out if the Crawfords advance. That's going to be a big loss for them. He is the catcher. I have to find a backup catcher here. And their backup catcher will be Clarence Palm. So he will be on first base as Gibson was hit in the head with the pitch. Just writing in the numbers here. That catcher's arm is going to fall down now to a 2, which could be huge for St. Louis since they play that whitey ball and steal a lot of bases. So Palm is going to be in now batting cleanup as we have 2 away and 2 men on with Vic Harris coming up. Harris is a lefty. It's going to be +2. It's going to be a batter's card for Harris. 5-1 is a line out to first base, and that will do it. And Ahar getting out of it. But a big loss there as Josh Gibson out of the game. So now Satchel Paige is going to go up against Tommy Herr, leading off here in the top of the 4th. Switch hitter is going to be equal on a roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 6-5 is a ground out for Herr to the second baseman, so the old 4-3. Jack Clark now, cleanup man, Jack the Ripper. He's a righty, so it's righty versus righty -2. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 4-3 is a strikeout. And Cesar Cedeno coming up, going to be -1 on the roll. That is going to be a pitcher's card as well. 6-1 is another situation. Looks like we're getting a lot of situations so far in this tournament. Going to go ahead and roll on the situation matrix. 7-3 is going to be a left fielder situation. Going to roll 1 die. It is a 6. We'll flip it over. Batter hits a long fly ball down into foul territory. Left fielder tracks down the ball and leans over the fence to attempt to catch. If defense rating plus roll is less than 6, fielder makes the catch and runners do not advance. If no catch is made, play results in a foul ball and offense rolls on the same matrix. So the left fielder here is Perkins. He is a 2, so it's a -2 on a die roll. It goes down to a 5, and that is less than 6, so he makes a great play in foul territory, catching the fly ball for a foul out over the stand to the stands. So we're going to go into the bottom of the 4th now. Judy Johnson coming up. It's going to be -1 on the roll. That is going to be a pitcher's card on Andahar. 4-1 is a fly out to center. Chester Williams now coming to the plate. He's 0 for 1 so far in the game. He's a righty. It's -1 on the roll. It's going to be a pitcher's card. 3-2 is a ground out on Williams over to second base. 4-3. Morney now coming up. Just putting that line in there for Gibson would come out. Morney is a switch hitter. It's going to be a -1 on the roll. That's going to be a batter's card for Morney. 8-1 is a ground out to first base. 3-1. A lot of ground outs to first base here as they can't get it out of the infield. That's going to do it for the bottom of the 4th. We're going to go back to the top of the 5th. And Satchel Paige still going strong here. Andy Van Slyke Coming up, left-handed batter, it is a -1 on the roll. That is going to be a pitcher's card. 7-5 is a ground out to second base. Terry Pendleton now up. It's going to be -2 on the roll. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 10-3 is a ground out, nearly a base hit there. And the ground out goes to shortstop, 6-3. Darryl Porter coming up, 2 away. Left-handed batter, going to be -2. That's going to be a batter's card for Porter. 3-1, that's not going to do anything as he strikes out, and that is 2 consecutive 1-2-3 innings. We're going to get the roll on Satchel Paige's poise right here on the happy face column. We roll an 8, and he does get an increase there. So he is now a 5-6. That is a 5 against lefties and a 6 against righties. And that's going into the 6th where we're going to have to roll on his fatigue. So that's actually an important increase there. And are still on the mound for 85 St. Louis. Crutchfield coming up. He is a lefty, so it's going to be +1 on the roll. That's going to still be a pitcher's card. 3-2 is a strikeout. And we're going to go back to the top of the order for 1934 Pittsburgh. Cool Papa Bell. Switch hitter, it's going to be +1. Going to be a pitcher's card. 2-2 is a strikeout. Can we get a 3rd strikeout for an automatic increase here? Bill Perkins. We'll see about that. It's going to be -2 on the roll. That is going to be a pitcher's card. 5-3 is a K. Andahar, not known for strikeouts too much in the 85 season. Only had 112, which back in the 80s wasn't that bad actually. He gets an automatic increase, and also because it was 2 consecutive 1-2-3 innings here, we actually can roll to see if he gets an additional increase. So Andahar could get stronger, and he does. He is now a 5 against lefties and a 6 against righties, similar to what Paige is right now, but going into the 6th inning, Paige is a 5 stamina, which means we have to roll on the first chart here. First column of the chart, and it's a 10. That is a -1, so he actually will go back down to normal, but if he didn't get that increase last inning, he would have been lower than his normal. And that's going to bring up the Wizard Ozzie Smith, 1-for-1 with the double in the game. Switch hitter, it's going to be -1. That's going to be a pitcher's card. 5-4 is a line out to third base. Now, if he gets another 1-2-3 inning here, that will be his 3rd consecutive and automatically get an increase. Vince Coleman in the top of the order for St. Louis coming up. It's going to be -1. That's going to be a batter's card for Coleman. 6-6 is a base hit. That will break up his string of outs. Coleman on first. And Coleman is going to try and take advantage and steal here. He's got a jump of a 5. Satchel Paige is a 2 on hold runners. He does get the jump, taking advantage of the new catcher who only has a 2 arm, and it's an 80% chance that Coleman finds himself on second base, and he does with the stolen base. Puts himself in scoring position as the Crawfords are up 2-0. There is 1 away. Willie McGee coming up to the plate. Switch hitter. It's going to be it's going to be +1 on the pitcher for the card. 6-1 is a strikeout, 2 away with a man on second base, and Tommy Herr coming to the plate. Switch hitter, it's going to be equal on the roll. That is going to be a batter's card for Tom Herr. 5-3 is a ground out, though, as Satchel Paige gets out of it, and the ground out goes to third base. Andahar still pitching strong. He has reached his max innings as well, so we're going to go ahead and roll on the first column for him. A 6 is no change, so he stays there. And that will bring up Oscar Charleston, who is a lefty and is now equal. It's going to be a batter's card on Charleston. 9-5 is a base hit for Charleston. 1 on, nobody out, and Clarence Palm coming up, the backup catcher for this Pittsburgh team. This will be his first at-bat of this game. It's going to be a -4. That is going to be a pitcher's card. 9-4 is a flyout to center field. 1 away. Vic Harris now the batter. Left-handed batter, it's going to be equal. It's going to be a pitcher's card. 5 is a ground out. Possible double play here. Ground out goes to the shortstop, Smith, who is a 5. He wouldn't be anything less. And Clarence Palm, nope, sorry, Oscar Charleston, not very fast. He's already out at second on turn. That is 6-4. Tommy Herr over at second is a 4 on Harris. A turn to double play, 6-4-3 to end the inning. Not a 1-2-3 inning, as a base hit led the inning off. And we're going to go over to the top of the 7th now. And we're going to roll on the second column of the fatigue chart, as he is now 2 innings past his stamina. And he rolls an 8, which is a -2. So now he is going to go down to a 2-3. If there was ever a time for St. Louis to take advantage, this would be it. Jack Clark now coming to the plate. He is a righty. It's going to be equal on a roll here. Only a pitcher's card, though. 10-7 is a base hit for Jack Clark. That puts one on with nobody out, and Cesar Cedeno coming up, a dangerous bat. He is going to be a +1 here. That's going to be definitely a batter's card. 9-5 is a base hit. Clark, not that fast. He's only going to advance to second. That's going to be a base hit that falls in. And now Andy Van Slyke will be up. It's going to be lefty versus righty. It's going to be a +1. That is going to be a pitcher's card. 4-6 is a line out. Line out goes to first base. So we do have a chance at a double up here. The first baseman's fielding is Charleston. He is a 3. And Cedeno on first base is a 4 on base instincts. That's going to be a +1 on a roll. 6 or above, he gets it in, but he does not. Charleston makes the snag, steps on first base, and gets Cedeno out as well. That's going to be a double play for 2 outs, and now a man on second in scoring position with 2 away, and Terry Pendleton coming up to the plate. Switch hitter. It's going to be equal on the roll. A batter's card for Pendleton. 6-5 is a ground out. That's going to end the inning. 6-3 will do it. And now we're going to be going into the bottom of the 7th. Andahar still on the mound. He's pitching strong. We're going to go ahead and roll on him. This will be the second inning passed as well. A 4 is no change. So he had a couple of +1s there. And no change. And he is still a 5-6. And he's going to be going up against Judy Johnson now. It's going to be a -3 on the roll. That's going to be a batter's card for Johnson. 7-1 is a pop out, though. And that pop out will go to first base. I'll bring up Chester Williams now. -3 on the roll here. It's going to be a batter's card still. 10-3 is a fly out to right field. 2 away. And Morney coming up. He is 0 for 2, grounded out to first base both times. Switch hitter. It's going to be -3. Pitcher's card. 7-3 is a line out. Line out to first base. So it looks like he is getting it down to first base a lot, but can't get it just over the first baseman's head. And that will do it for the bottom of the 7th. 3 away. Now, this gets a little bit more difficult for Satchel Paige. Do I keep him in? And roll on him again. If he gets that -2, he has to come out. He could get a -1 against a very good on-base percentage team. I think we're going to have to pull him to try and conserve this victory. So Paige is going to come out. Pittsburgh is going to go to the bullpen. And they will be bringing in... I don't know. Not a very strong bullpen here. They're going to bring in Bert Hunter. Try and get some of these outs. So Paige will have gone 7 innings here. He had a +1. And Hunter will enter the ball game here in the top of the 8th. And he will be facing Darrell Porter to start things off. He's a right-handed pitcher. He can go 4 innings, so If the game does get extended, he can go a few. He is a righty, Porter is a lefty. It's going to be equal on the roll here. That is going to be a batter's card for Porter. 6-4 is a ground out plus. We're going to find out where that ground ball goes. It goes to third base. The third baseman's arm is a 4. Not a very good shot here for Porter to beat it out. He needs a 7, 8, or 9. He does not get it. So that is a 5-3. Ozzie Smith, the Wizard, now up 1 away. Switch hitter, it's going to be +1 on a roll. That goes to a batter's card. 7-3 is a pop out. And the pop out goes to first. We're going to go back to the top of the order now as St. Louis is running out of outs. Vince Coleman is a switch hitter. It's going to be +1. And it's going to be a pitcher's card for Hunter. 10-1 is a ground out. So Hunter comes in and gets the St. Louis team down 1-2-3, and we're going to go over to the bottom of the 8th. Andahar still in there. He had 10 complete games in 1985. We'll see if he can get a complete game here. We're going to roll in on the third column now. It's a 10. It's a -1, so he goes down to a 4-5. Still pretty strong. That is still above his original numbers. And Jimmy Crutchfield coming up. Crutchfield is a lefty. It's going to be equal on a roll. That is going to be a pitcher's card for Andahar. 5-2 is a K. So Andahar, after giving up a couple of runs in the first 3 innings, has pitched pretty strong here. Cool Papa Bell coming up with 1 out. Switch hitter, it's going to be equal on the roll. That's going to be a batter's card on Bell. 6-5 is a fly out to center. Now we have Perkins coming up. He's a right-handed batter. It's going to be -3. That's going to go down to a pitcher's card. 1-1 is a strikeout. And that is 3 away. That is 2 consecutive 1-2-3 innings again. And we get to roll on Andahar. This could be huge for him. But it is no change there. So we will go over to the top of the 9th with the game on the line. Hunter on the mound and McGee stepping up. Pittsburgh is up 2-0. McGee a switch hitter. It's going to be +3 on a roll. That's going to be a batter's card for McGee. 5-5 is a ground out though. 1 away as a 6-3 gets the first out. Tommy Herr coming up, a switch hitter. It's going to be +2 on the roll. That's going to be a batter's card for her. 8-1 is a fly out to left field. 2 away now. Jack Clark could possibly end the game here. Hunter, pitching strong, hasn't allowed a hit in his 1 2/3 innings pitched so far. Clark is a righty. It's going to be equal on the roll. That is going to be a pitcher's card. Let's see if Hunter can get the final out here. 8-7. And Clark manages a walk to keep the Cardinals, the St. Louis team, alive. That's going to bring up Cesar Cedeno. Very strong card after being traded to the St. Louis Ball Club late in the '85 season. Cedeno is a righty. It's going to be +1 on the roll. That's going to be a batter's card. 7-3 is a ground out. That is going to do it. The ground out goes to short. A 6-3, and the St. Louis Ball Club is eliminated from the King of the Hill tournament. Satchel Paige comes away with the victory as Pittsburgh wins 2-0 in the second round. We're going to go ahead and give the player of the game to Satchel Paige, I believe. Satchel Paige, a very strong outing as he goes 7 innings, giving up 1, 2, 3, 4, only 5 hits. Allowing no runs, walking 1, while striking out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 batters, and facing 25 batters, no home runs allowed. Hunter came in strong relief, only giving up the 1 walk in 2 innings. didn't strike out any, faced 7 batters, gave up no home runs. And for Andahar, he's going to be saddled with the loss. Pitched all 8 innings, though, for his team. Giving up 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, 2 runs allowed, 3 walks. He did hit a batter while striking out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Facing 29 batters, no home runs. So that is going to do it. The Pittsburgh Crawfords advance to round 3. We'll go ahead and do actually the fatigue here. As the Cardinals are eliminated, we don't need to worry about that anymore. Paige is going to go into the book. He gets 1 for the appearance. He went 7 innings. That's going to be 2 more points. And what he accumulated in the game overall added up is another 2, so that's going to be 5. So Paige is not going to be able to pitch for a while. Hunter came in. He did not pitch 3. He gets 1 for the appearance, so he'll need 1 day of rest before he comes in fully rested. And that is going to do it for the second round of the King of the Hill tournament. 1934 Pittsburgh from the Negro National League will move on to round 3. The next team has not been determined, as they are going to be all picked randomly before the game starts. That will do it here with the newest version of On Deck Baseball, On Deck Baseball Pro. If you have any questions or comments on the newest version or On Deck Baseball in general, leave them below. I hope you enjoyed this game. It was pretty fun. I like seeing the Pittsburgh team come into action. It's going to be interesting to see who they face off in the next round. And as always, I thank you for joining me, and thanks for giving me your time. And we'll see you next time.